Andrew, sixth in race one, and looking at the times, only, what, 100th of a second off Jimmy's times at the moment, coming to grips quite nicely.
Yeah, it's taken us a little while, though. This is a very competitive category, and small changes to the car make an enormous difference in time. And, you know, Jim and Peter Fitzgerald have been running these cars for a long time. We got our car a little bit late, and it's taken us a little while to get on the pace, but now we're here, and I guess we'll stay here, and I'm looking forward to a good race today.
An enormously successful motor racer, Andrew Madecki, and it's great to see him back behind the wheel. The concentration on Tim Lay's face as we get set to go racing. Fantastic start by Marcus Marshall. He launches off the line, wrestles the lead away from Jim Richards. Lay has made a strong start as well and tries to argue with Matthew Coleman and wins it as they go into turn one. Lay up to third. Your race leader, though, Cameron McConville. Brilliant start from Marcus Marshall.
Well, this is great to see because Jim will have to come from behind for once. We saw when Marcus Marshall got in front at Eastern Creek previously, he was able to hold Jim out, but not for the entire race. Let's see if he can do it this time.
Let's not forget either that starting from 10th position in this one, Peter Fitzgerald, after that contact with Tim Lay. Boy, what is going on here for Jonathan Webb? He has been swamped. Greg Keane has come past. Fitzgerald has come past. He's lost a heap of positions.
That can happen pretty easily in a one-make series or when cars are very even. There goes Fitzy up the inside, looking for one spot already, but I don't think he's going to be able to get through there. But you lose a little bit of momentum at the start, and you can lose 6, 8 or even 10 spots sometimes.
Here's Fitzgerald looking for a way past Dean Grant, who had a fantastic first race here at Winton. Knows the track pretty well. The car prepared with the assistance of Jim Richards. His results speak for themselves. 7 starts, 7 wins for Jim Richards. Is this going to be the first time we see a youngster on top of the results? Marcus Marshall. An enormous amount of faith has been placed in him by Tony Quinn, following a great run in the Australian Formula 4 Championship last year. He has a couple of car lengths on Jim Richards. Lay is in pursuit. Matthew Coleman is there. And so is Andrew Madecki, who we spoke to prior to the start of this race. Another good start from Peter Hill in 6th position.
Nice solid start. Marcus Marshall, though, is taking a leap out of Jim Richards' foot, putting your head down on the first lap on cold tyres and absolutely going for it. If you can open up a couple of seconds even break in these first 2-3 laps, that's how you win one of these races.
Here's Jonathan Webb trying to snatch that position back from Greg Keane, and a touch as they go into turn 3. Boy, Greg Keane is having a wretched year in this championship. If you cast your mind back to Eastern Creek, he's had no luck, has he?
Absolutely no luck at all, but maybe contributed to that one a little bit, because I'd say Jonathan Webb was pretty cleanly up the inside of him.
The Kiwis, Andrew Bagnall and Rick Armstrong, are missing for this round at Winton, but some other news to emerge from pit lane is that Armstrong's car has in fact been sold to Charlie O'Brien, and he'll run with Lyle Williamson's team. Charlie, you may recall, drove with that team in the Super Touring days, 1995. There's a replay of that contact with Greg Keane. No major dramas for Jonathan Webb.
No, Webb went through, both of them with very little damage, and I'd say Thomas Rosera, the driving standards advisor for the series, will let that one go also as a racing incident.
Matthew Coleman trying to chase down Tim Lay. Andrew Madecki in pursuit. That's 4th and 5th. Lay sits in 3rd at the moment, chasing Jim Richards into the sweeper here at Winton. Good battle going on further back. There's Webb, just ahead of Rodney Jane. Tony Quinn is a bit further up the order there. And again, we see Dean Cook doing a fantastic job. He's been one of the real consistent runners of this series. Last year, he, Chris Seidler and Dean Grant spent a lot of time with Stephen Richards learning this particular track and coming to grips with Porsches. And he's regularly inside the top 10.
That'll pay off in the championship and will be reflected in the points. Just particularly these 3 races, you can't afford to start off the back for race 2. If you have a bad qualifying position, you just got to creep up on it and use the races to be up in the top 10 or 12 for that 3rd and final race.
Dean also works fairly closely with Trevor Schumack, the head of Michelin Motorsport tyres in this country, and Trevor's got an enormous pedigree in European formulas. So that's helping him come to grips with the setups on these cars. Minimal modifications or changes that you can make. There's a lot of controls in this series. It really does get down to driver ability. Jim Richards has a huge amount of experience in Porsche terms, and look at the way he's been able to close in on Marshall here.
Well, you could see from the rear shot of Marcus Marshall's car, you could see Jimmy's hands working the wheel. He's really trying to carry as much mid-corner speed, and he's on a charge. He set the fastest lap of the race. Let's have a look at another replay.
That was Grant getting past. Oh, that's Kevin Bell. He got past Dean Grant and also tried to make his way past Tony Quinn, but Quinn was the big loser. James Dutton's had an off as well.
And stuck in the little culvert there, or a ditch of some description, maybe one of the drains off the side of the track, so I don't think he's going anywhere.
There's been a lot of rain in the Benalla region in the build-up to this round, so stepping off the black stuff is not recommended. Through the fast sweeper, and then down into this tight section that the drivers have spoken about. So important to get good drive here, and the wrong thing to do, I guess, is to charge in hard on the brakes.
It is, because it costs you time coming off the turns. It's very much single file. You're not really going to pass a car very easily anyway there, but you need to get off that particular corner down the straight here well, because there is a passing opportunity at the end of the straight under braking.
Now this might clear up what happened for James Dutton, and that's Roger Oakeshott there.
Had a spin by himself, so he had a little bit of a tap, got on the power, and the car got sideways. You can see how stiffly sprung these cars are just by the way James's car was lurching around.
Roger is the third member of the Greg Murphy racing team. Here is their lead driver, if you like, who will be teaming with Cameron McConville for the upcoming Enduros. Tim Lay, a youngster who came up through the karting ranks, has been through Formula Ford and Formula 4000. Fantastic to see him in the Carrera Cup. Just up the road ahead of him there. Oh, you can hear him. He had to get off the throttle. The car got all nervous.
I was just thinking while we were watching that in-car shot, gee, he's gone deep into the sweeper there. It was very, very late all the way in on the power, and just had a little bit of a nervous twitch mid-corner. When you step off the power mid-corner, these cars can still be a little taily, but he gathered up, hasn't lost a lot of time. But look at Jimmy. He's all over the back of Marcus Marshall.
Bear in mind, there are only 6 tyres allocated per car for this round. And I guess tyre management and strategy, how you use them, whether you savour a better set, if you like, for the final race is all important.
And that's what Jim Richards seems to be able to do very well, Russ. He seems to be able to manage his tyres well. Even though he takes off early in the race with good speed, his tyres don't seem to deteriorate. Whereas when we see Marcus lead, he shoots off into the distance and then just seems to drop back into Jimmy's clutches 2/3 race distance. So perhaps just that car or what he's doing early on, just a little harder on the rear tyres than Jim's.
Richards with the lights on. He is the intimidator. There's an idea for you of how the comparison of lap times is. Richards, over the last few laps, has been slower than Marshall, but you can see early on he made big gains in closing in on Marcus. And I dare say that's exactly what Tim Lay has done over the last few laps as well. While those two are battling away and Richards is struggling to find a way past, Lay has thrown out the line and hooked on the back. That's what Kevin Bell is doing to the Techno Autosports entry. Jonathan Webb under siege as they come into turn 1. The Kiwi snatches the position away. Rodney Jane right there as well.
Well, Taylor on the exit, but nice, a clean move up the inside. Jonathan Webb didn't block the line. Maybe didn't expect him to be that close, or that he was going to have a look through, but got through quite easily.
Rodney Jane really starting to harass Jonathan Webb, and has obviously got good car speed at the moment. Here's Tony Quinn fighting his way back up the order. Oh, and caught out there by Mark Cheney, who's a newcomer to this series, running the car campaign by Scott Shearman in Nations Cup in 2002. It's been up-spec'd for this series, but I wonder if Quinn's got some nerves at the moment after that off earlier.
Yeah, he doesn't like Winton. We heard him say that at the start of the race, so he just hesitated a bit underneath there and didn't quite pull that move off, didn't want to have any contact. And Marcus Marshall has done a great job. He hasn't made one mistake. He's slowing Jimmy up, possibly around the earlier part of this lap, but Jim's got to find a way around him, and if he doesn't leave a gap, he should be able to hold him off now that Tim Lay's putting some pressure on Jim.
Brilliant run through the sweeper for both Jim Richards and Tim Lay. They're having a real go on this final lap. But is this the first win that we're going to see from the youngster, Marcus Marshall? Driven a superb race here at Winton. Made it enormously difficult for Jim Richards to try and find a way past, and opportunities now fast running out for Richards.
Tim Lay tried a wider line onto the back straight there, but actually lost out. He was trying to get a good slingshot off the turn, but had a little bit of oversteer, a bit of a moment mid-corner, and he's not quite close enough to have a look at Jim.
Bear in mind, this is the first Tin Top series that Marcus Marshall has driven in, so if he takes this win, and he's certainly on course to do that, it will be his first saloon car victory. Marcus Marshall, checkered flag is at the ready. He takes the race win. Fantastic performance for the VIP Pet Foods team. Richard second, and Tim Lay a brilliant third. A superb drive for Marshall, who in fact hadn't tested at Winton prior to this round. His first look at the track was in Friday's 2 practice sessions. Brilliant stuff. Let's go to the pits.
As always, the start is crucial, and being on the dirty line, did that not help your situation?
Well, I don't know whether that was the case or not, but no, I didn't get, well, not that good a start, and it was always going to happen once Marcus got in front. It was very hard to pass, so but he did well. He's been driving fantastic over the series so far, and really it was only a matter of time before he got a win, so he deserved it. It was really good.
Oh, it's unreal. You know, when I was like yay big, I was sitting at home watching Jim Richards go up Mountain Straight, waving to Dick Johnson, like, you know, so casual. Watch all these years, watching him race, and now I'm racing against him, and it's just awesome. Now I beat him. Yeehaw.
A popular win for Marcus Marshall, and still one more race in the Carrera Cup to come right here on Trackside.